super cool stuff in PowerPoint. Even though it says from a coder's perspective there will be no code. Because in PowerPoint 2016 you cannot write macros even if you want to. So that is not a thing that will happen. So first of all, I want you to notice 4 tabs. I have 4 extra tabs in addition to all the regular ones. And if you do not have extra tabs in your Microsoft Office, you are not using it to its full capabilities. Even if it's just the Office Remote. What the Office Remote allows you to do is to give a presentation and control it with your cell phone. And so, yes.
Yes. Like, oh crap, she actually does know something cool.
Yes. So the Office Remote allows you to, if your phone has Bluetooth and your computer has Bluetooth, then you just install the Office Remote on both of them, and you can control your Microsoft Office on your computer with your cell phone. And so, like with Word, you can scroll, and with, of course, PowerPoint, you can change slides, and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's really great in that respect. For Word, I have like 6 or 7 extra tabs instead of 4, because there's a lot more stuff you can add to Word, like bibliography stuff for papers, if you write papers, and grammar stuff if you do reports. So, and each of those can add their own tab to your Microsoft Office. So that's the first thing. If you can find a way to add-ons for Microsoft Office, then that is what you want to find, because they will make your life 10 times easier in every way. So, one of these tabs in particular, the storyboarding, it comes with Visual Studio. So if you get Visual Studio, then you can get the storyboarding with it. And what this allows you to do is you can actually make an interface using the storyboarding stuff. So if I want to create a layout, then I can add in storyboard shapes, and these shapes include different backgrounds. So maybe you want to create a web browser interface or a Windows Phone interface or whatever. You want to have icons, so like maybe a download icon or a cut icon, or you want to add in, symbols for Windows Phone apps. So you have your alarm symbol up there and whatever, right? So anything that would go on any kind of Windows machine, you can, whether it's a phone or a computer, you can have all of these. You can build it from the ground up using all of the things in Storyboard and put it right into your presentation. So this is also a pretty cool thing. Visual Studio Community 2017 is free. And if you just want this, it will take up a very minimal amount of space on your hard drive. So I highly recommend it if you want to be able to build interfaces using the tools from the people who make the interfaces. So that covers the storyboarding. Of course, we are designers here, and we don't necessarily want to be creating flows like that. Instead, we want to be creating actual presentations, right? So I'm going to show you my favorite way to start making a presentation from a more designing point of view. And so if I select one of these, obviously you get your template and whatever, right? But there's actually way more that you can do with this, because the variants over here are good, but you can customize these variants beyond what you might think. So if you go down here, not only can you change the colors and of course create your own color theme, you can also change the fonts and create your own font theme. So my favorite fonts are Century Gothic and Sego UI. So that's my default theme. But you can also use one of their themes or create your own. So I'm going to go with my favorite theme because it's my favorite. And then your effects. So you can have different effects to it, and so on this one it's not super visible, but you can see like here we got an extra shadow right there, and we got some glassy effects, whatever. You can get all kinds of extra effects that are very subtle, but can add a lot if you use it on the right one, just by going to this effects. And your background styles, you can make them dark or light, and you can format it to actually be whatever you want behind the graphics of your theme. So that's another thing, is that you can, not only can you customize the overlay, you can customize the background just as much.
You can create a Gaussian blur or a gradient or whatever in Illustrator. You can't do that in Office, can you?
There's some things that you can do like that, creating blurs and gradients.
Oh yeah, you can create a gradient. So if I want to create a gradient background, then if I go to the gradient fill, then I can choose one of these gradients as an example, and then maybe make it radial from the corner, add another stop in here, or just remove this one, and make this pure white, and maybe change the direction. There we go. And so you have a gradient for your background.
Okay.
And so you can see that it's dark over there and bright over there and whatever. You can make it rainbowy as you want. So add as many colors as you want, move them however you want. And even up or down the transparency. So like right now there's no transparency, but as I up it, then, oh, that's because I'm on that one.
Right.
If I up the transparency over here, then it gradually gets less and less visible.
Right.
So, there you go.
Okay.
So you can change these backgrounds a ton as you're doing this. So, the other thing that I think is really cool is I don't have any content in my slide right now, so I don't have any design ideas. But if I add content to my slide, so let's just say I do a basic title slide, then when I go back here to the design and I want to add design ideas, oops, I need to add actual words. Okay. So, what? I swear that used to work. Whatever. Alright. So, there was a thing that I had that was going to look really cool, but I will move on to the next part of what I have to show. Okay. So this is the basic design of just the background and the theme and stuff like that, so that whenever you add a slide, it will be in, in whatever format you want. But of course, there's a lot more to PowerPoint than just designing your background and stuff. And so one of the things that I wanted to show you here was the animation pane can be a pain if you don't know how to use it right. But if you do know how to use it, it can be pretty awesome. So if I wanted to add, so let's say I'm going to insert a smart art graphic. So these are very useful in presentations, and if you want to know how to customize them, I can go into all of that, but it can be pretty tedious to customize all of them. So I'm just going to insert some basic stuff in here. So okay, so here's just a basic smart art, and now I want to animate this. So I can either animate the whole thing, or I can actually animate each individual one. So if I go to the animation pane, and I select this, and say I just want it to appear, right? I'll do a basic appear. However, I can do effect options, smart art animation, right? So I can make it one by one, right? So now it happens one by one. And right now it just looks like it just appears, but I can change it so that the trigger is on the click of this. So if I play it, so let me present real quick. Okay. Or not. Never mind. I messed up a little bit. Let me go back. Alright.
Your duration's on auto when there's no delay.
Yeah. The smart animation, we want it one by one. Okay, but we want the trigger. No. So let me add something else in here.
Just proves how powerful this is.
Oh yeah, well, it's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to navigate and a lot to learn. So I don't even know what all of these are. How about this one? If you want to learn a programming language, learn this one. I'm making it. Okay. So the trigger for this on the animations, I'm going to make it so that it's on click of this. Okay? So now whenever I click this, all of these will appear one by one. So in fact, I'll change the animation to make it more obvious. So I'll make each of these to be a float in, okay? And it's one by one. Okay. So if I show this now.
I like the mute.
Yes. Okay, so now when I click beginner talk, it all comes in as one thing. So this means that if you're presenting something really big, right? So you have some sort of web up here or something, and it's like, and then if you look at this thing, click, then this stuff shows up, right? And so this enables you to do this, to do it so that each so that you're not showing everything at once. You don't have to make new slides or even very complicated triggers. It's just on the click of something. And so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. One by one, that's what I wanted. There we go. So now each one is floating in, one by one, when I click. So that is how you can so the flow of this, if it seemed kind of messy, is number one, you create one of these things. Number two, you create something for you to click. Number three, you go into you select the animation. And then number four, in your effect options, you want to make sure that it is one by one. And number five, you want to make it so that the trigger is on the click of your other device, of your other thing in your on the other elements in your slide. That's what I was trying to say.
Can each of the parts of the smart art be treated as separate click elements for something else to happen? Like if you clicked on just the number one, it could trigger something, and just the number two could trigger something.
Yes, you can do that as well. So
you can make it kind of like a hyperlink kind of thing. You click on it and just check
yes,
click on that.
exactly. So if I wanted to do that, then say I wanted to make a text box appear when I clicked that one. So if I insert a text box, and I want to put it, say, here above that one, but I don't want it to appear until I click this, right? So I will make it so that the animation for this is I'll just make it appear when on the click of
You have to know which one that is.
yeah, hold on. There's a way to do this because I did it. Okay, I think you can only do it on the click of the entire smart art. I don't think you can do it on the click of an individual element.
Okay.
Which is a shame, but to a certain extent, that's still good, right?
Yeah, that's still not a problem. You just put lots of different smart art objects on there.
You could duplicate it and just get rid of 2 and 3 and have 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so that's how you can do advanced stuff with the animation pane. You can do it you don't have to do it the standard way that everybody does. And by doing it this way, you can make your presentations a lot more interactive, and also you can make it a lot more dynamic. So you can do things out of order a little bit if you want to. And so another thing, a lot of the transitions can be pretty intense and pretty cheesy in most situations, It's like,
That's pretty cool though.
it's cool, but you don't exactly want this when you're presenting to an important client or something, right? However, if you do some of the more subtle ones, let's do it on this slide so that's easier to see. Right. So because it was kind of slow, it made it look a little cheesier. But if we do it faster and we play it now, it looks much better when it's faster, right? It looks more like it's transitioning in a clean way as opposed to taking, almost a full minute.
Can we see that from presentation mode?
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. And so now
Yeah.
it's very clean.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking, that was just a quarter of a second difference. But it's amazing the difference that made in terms of how clean the whole thing felt. And I will tell you, there's an option here for sounds. Never, ever put sounds in a PowerPoint, no matter what, okay? It's here in the transitions, and it's here in the animations, but just don't put sounds in your PowerPoint. Because not only is it annoying, it's also problematic in terms of how your PowerPoint works, because the sounds are stored in temporary files on your computer, and so if you ever try to show it on a different computer, they won't work. So there are multiple reasons not to use sounds. Frankly, PowerPoint should deprecate them, but they will not. So just don't use them. But
I can't imagine as many times as I spend on a slide looking at the animations over and over again. If the sound played over and over again, I'd probably crack my screen.
Exactly. The other thing you can do is if you want to make your PowerPoint more like a video, you can just simply make it so that instead of advancing on the mouse click, it advances after, say, I think this is seconds, or that's minutes, and then that's seconds. So say I just made it 10 seconds so I can show you quickly. If I present this, then it should advance now. No, I did it wrong. Okay. I want to advance to the next slot. Here we go. This is where I want it after 10 seconds. All right. And so I will do it
For real?
here. Okay.
I think it's milliseconds.
I think that was milliseconds, but you saw that one for, and then that was 10 seconds. Okay. So you can make your PowerPoint more like a video this way, by just doing it after X number of seconds instead of on a mouse click, which can be useful in some circumstances. Am I boring anybody to death? Is that what that sound was?
I have a question. So,
Yes.
in reference to a video, can you make it loop? Like if you have it on presentation mode, can you make your presentation loop?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I would have to look into that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good question and a very applicable question to a lot of situations, but I'm not sure. Yeah. So, okay. Drawing when you are presenting is very useful and very fun if you are doing it right. So with a mouse pad like this is probably not the best way to go with drawing. You either would want some kind of tablet control or some kind of Bluetooth mouse. I have a Bluetooth mouse so I can demonstrate this. I just want to get it out. Is it connected? It does not appear to be connected. That's awesome. Nope, okay. Whatever. Alright. So I can still show you anyway. So if I want to present and then draw, so I can do a pen and I can circle something, right? So I just circled that whole thing, and then I can erase all the ink on the slide with one click. You can see this in the presentation view. So let me show that again where you can actually see the presentation view. So if I do the pen.
There's a working mouse set.
What? Oh, okay.
Perfect, thank you.
It should work immediately.
Yes. Alright. Lot of sounds, I'm guessing something worked. Okay, so.
Wow.
Alright, so. There you go, right? So I'm drawing with the little pen down here, and then I can erase, and then it erases it line by line, or I can do a highlighter, which is fatter, and then erase all the ink on the slide, whatever you want to do. So only you can see the controls on here, which is great. It is much better than any kind of smartboard or anything. You do not need a smartboard technology in order to be able to do this. All you need is PowerPoint 2016. And so, alright, so those are some more. So that's another trick you can use. My personal favorite trick with office drawing, this is in both PowerPoint and Word and Excel, is ink to math. So if I wanted to make a sigma for n is equal to 0 to infinity, then where I have erase I to the n, voila!
That's crazy.
I have the math from this. So you can literally take notes this way if you have a tablet for a math class. And you don't need anything fancy in order to do that. So this is in all of Microsoft Office stuff. This is not just in PowerPoint. I actually have a mathematics extension on my Word because I wanted this and didn't get it, and now I have it.
This may be included with everything since Windows XP Tablet Edition.
What?
The math input panel may be in every version of Windows since XP.
Okay.
Just hidden under a couple of names.
That's cool. See,
Alright.
I don't know any math, so I'd just be drawing pictures until math happened and be like, yeah, that totally checks out. No, you just imploded it. Like, that is not possible.
Yeah, but you get the idea here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And of course you can do the same thing with shapes. So if I draw a I want to draw it with touch. So if I drew a triangle, it actually makes a real triangle from that.
That's really cool.
So this is great if the whole if the whole idea of dragging little things to get it super precise all the time is just the most annoying thing to you ever, then this is how it's done. That, and you can undo if you still want to keep it this ugly thing. So it is awesome.
Will it do drastic shapes? So if you had drawn a taller triangle, almost like a tree shape?
Yeah, I'll try that out right now.
Yeah.
So if I drew a really tall triangle, let's see.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Nice.
So it's pretty smart, which is kind of amazing. Google now has something like this with their Google Drawings, and they put way more intelligence into it. But if you have to work with Microsoft Office, this is pretty good too. So and Microsoft Office 2016 is collaborative. So that's another thing. The whole collaboration aspect of 2016 is something that you will have to look at for yourself. But I find that if you're looking for collaboration, the Google Docs and Google Slides still happens to be better because when you do collaborative stuff in Microsoft Office, it starts to take a lot of your computer's memory to do that. Because Microsoft Office is so powerful that adding collaboration on top of that sucks your processing speed like nothing else. So when they can improve the performance, the collaboration will be an excellent thing. And finally, the recording tab, something they used to have to always have software for, right? Used to always have some kind of software to record your PowerPoint with. Well, not anymore. It will actually record your slideshow with audio and export to a video and everything right inside of PowerPoint itself. So, I wish I could have been recording this whole time so I could show you, but it's already being recorded. So. But this is another cool thing that you can do, right? So it's been shown that over 90% of the features that people want in Microsoft Office products are already in them. And people just don't know that they exist. So this is one of those things that everyone wants to exist, and yet not everybody can find it. Even though it's a tab right at the top, right? And the reason for that is because typically in Microsoft Office products, recording refers to recording macros, right? Which in 2016, you can't even record macros in PowerPoint 2016 because they didn't want to confuse recording with making macros. So that's a pretty smart move on their part, but everybody still thinks that recording means to record macros. So take advantage of this feature if you have 2016, no doubt. And if you are making if you're making presentations with others, then you probably want the comments to say, hey, I think that this is cool, but it could probably be done better, right? So I could say, cool triangle, make it red, right? So there you go. Now I've told them, hey, make the triangle red. And so now, of course, you save this, and the next person to open the file can, can read the comments and say, hey, yeah, I agree, I'll make it red, when does it need to be done by, whatever, right? So this is another way that you can add collaboration to a rather static application like Microsoft Office. And like I said, if you have 2016, then the whole share thing where you can invite people and collaborate on it at the same time, these comments go even further in that kind of a situation. So, oh, right. So, if you want to add add-ins to your Microsoft Office, I will show you how to do that. So, first of all, there's a thing over here called add-ins, and you can see that I have Adobe Acrobat, remote support, which is the Office remote, Team Foundation add-in, which is a Visual Studio thing, and I believe that is what causes the storyboarding tab to appear. And so then you can just upload, and so you can upload add-ins or whatever you want to do in here. So if I do go and I can add, and then you find an add-in somewhere on your computer and you can add it. So I wanted to show you, I've still got plenty of time, in my Word, how many add-ins I have there, because I find that PowerPoint generally has what I need, and Word generally has a lot less than what I need. So, alright. So, if I look in here, this is my Zotero in here, and so this enables me to connect my bibliography with a software that I have on my computer that is an actual bibliography manager. So I can manage my entire bibliography with this software in here, and so I have a library, and in here I can add sources or teams or whatever, and then I can add them in here to edit my bibliography. So that's why I have this one, Grammarly for grammar. So obviously, this will catch additional stuff that that Microsoft Office normally doesn't catch because it can only make its grammar system so advanced, and then Office Remote and Acrobat again, and also Developer again. And I will show you in Word how you can actually record a macro, because I can't show you it in PowerPoint, but it is a very useful thing in all of Microsoft Office products.
So for those of us who live under a rock, what is a macro?
A macro is a thing that you give it, you do something, and it will always, and when you activate it, it will always do that same thing again. So, for example, if I want to make it so that all of the text in my document was blue instead of just my titles, right? Then I could create a macro to do that. In fact, I'll do that. So I'll just call it make blue, right? I'll make everything blue, and I'll assign it to a button. And so I will add it to my quick access toolbar. right? And so now I will have so now I will take everything, and I will make everything blue, right? So now everything is blue, and I will stop recording, right? And so now I will undo that. Okay, so now it's undone, and if I click this button, everything should turn blue. What? Well, let me try that again. Macros, edit. I can't do it that way, okay. Fine. Alright. Button. Alright. Add. Okay. So now I will try to select the whole thing and make it blue. So now my whole story is blue, and that should do it. Okay, so now I want to edit. No, okay. Well, it's being painful, but the idea here is supposed to be that I can make my entire document blue by selecting the whole thing. And actually I have a better idea. I'll use a shortcut because that's what I did before. And now. And I'll change the fonts to just to do that. And so now I'll stop recording. Alright, okay. So in this case, you can see that it changed my font to Century Gothic. Alright, so it did something, right? So the idea here is I now have something that whenever I click it, it will change my entire document to Century Gothic with one click. Done, right? So I made one of these so that it actually takes my whole, I made one of these so that I can highlight my whole document and turn it into MLA format. That's the power that these things have. You can say, okay, select the whole document, make it Times New Roman, 12 point, double spaced, make the first 4 lines go to the left, the 5th line go to the center, make all of the other make all the other paragraphs have a tab at the beginning, and make my last page to be like whatever, right? And so that's the power that these things have, and that is amazing for things like, and that's amazing for things such as formatting your documents.
It'd be really helpful if you have to align something to a certain style guide, like brand style guide.
Exactly.
And if you can't use InDesign, you use this. They're like, oh, please make it in Word. You're like, okay. And
exactly.
have it
You
all
can use
loaded up.
macros to help you with that.
That'd be great, yeah. I had no idea.
Yes. And most people don't use them because this tab is hidden by default, right? So in order to enable the developer tab, you have to go to your options, and then in your customized ribbon, you'll see that there are tabs here. And so normally all you'll see is these, and the developer tab will be unchecked by default. And of course these are just from your add-ins. So generally, if you get an add-in, you'll add another tab in here, and you can customize your ribbon there. So the other thing you can do here is, so I'm selecting my main tabs right now, but I can do it so that I want to customize my quick access toolbar. That's what I want. So as you can see in here, you have this up here by default, which is all that you have. But if you want to add extra stuff, you can add as much as you want. And this is the popular commands. But you have all of the commands in here. And I'm showing you this in Word, but this is the same for PowerPoint and everything else. So I'm showing you this stuff in Word because I use Word more than any other Microsoft Office application. But this applies to PowerPoint and Excel and Publisher and everything else. So I tend to do this a lot because there's stuff that can be pretty hidden that's actually extremely useful. And alright, so I've got 15 minutes left, and I would like to use that time for questions if people have any. I know some big yawns, I'm sorry, I'm putting you to sleep.
I think our minds are just exploding a little bit.
It's a lot to take in, it really is. But I almost forgot my favorite feature in all of Microsoft Office. Okay.
Undo
So. Right, okay. So if you go to where is it? So I saw it. Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. So the word art used to be super, super cheesy, right? And if you do it wrong, it can still be really, really cheesy. But if you do it right, it can be subtle enough to be extremely, extremely awesome. So let's start with something, this looks good, right? But I think we can make it just a tiny bit better. So let's format it a little. So we'll make the inside fill to be solid, of that color, right? So it's now solid. Doesn't look quite as good, but we'll change that. Okay? So if we go to so let's do it so that it's actually a little gradient instead. Yes. So I will make this, so now it looks slightly shiny, right? And we can make it so that it looks even more like it's a little bit shiny using some 3D formatting. So if we make the material to be metal, I thought that there was a metal. Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There really is. If you do it right. And see, just enough right now. It looks cool without looking super cheesy yet, right? And just a little dark, and so now it looks a little bit more real, like it's coming out of the page. However, you can start making it look extremely weird when you start doing stuff here. So
Red flags.
Imagine if you were doing the things like flying around the screen. Oh man, they pay attention to again.
They use those in
There
Photoshop.
you go. Into some weird stuff. But like I said before, you can if you use these tools right, you can get some more than normal text. This is the case, and like I said, this tool is also in PowerPoint. It's in I don't think all this. It's in PowerPoint. I'm just more familiar with it in Word. So if you want to for stuff to look crazy, you can use a glow, and but if you do it very subtly, it looks not quite as awful. That almost looks not too cheesy, almost. A shadow, if you don't do a crazy one, so like that makes it look more 3D without looking too crazy. So yeah, just take advantage of these tools in the right way and not in a way that makes everything look insane. Because there is some crazy stuff in here, and I have a document where I do nothing but play with this stuff. So, in fact, I wonder if I can find that real quick and show you how awful this can get. So,
I'm glad that you trust us more with this than you do with the music part of it all.
hey, I mean, you know what? It's something that can be used for good or evil. So I hope that you use this information for good. That's all I can say. I hope you use it for good and not for evil.
Be a fun challenge to make everyone try to either recreate work that they've done in Photoshop with PowerPoint or something like that.
Yes.
Because there have been times where I've had to, like, I'd lay it all out in InDesign or Photoshop, and the client's like, "Oh, well, we use PowerPoint." It's like, oh, okay. Give me a couple days, and I'll get back to you. But you can do quite a bit.
I don't even know where. I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, you know where all the calendars from school and essays. And
If you edited it recently, you can sort by date modified.
yeah, I think it was more recent than most of these, so I can probably do that. Why am I studying computer science? I have no idea. No, I don't think it's less recent than I thought, because I'm all the way. Oh, that's French, so I'm close. Here's blah blah blah. Now I'm back in my freshman year. Okay. Sad ranting. I don't know what that was. No, I can't seem to find it.
You'll just have to redo it.
Oh well. Yeah, I can redo it easily.
Yeah.
Not on here. I don't want to mess that up. But I can do the rainbow thing that I did. I had like a rainbow outline, and it was in like Curls MT, and it was like it had a big glow and a giant reflection, and I think there was like a bubble texture somewhere in there, and like a wood texture for the background of the shape.
Hey, at least it wasn't Comic Sans, so there you go.
Well,
Start off on the right foot.
which is worse, Curls MT or Comic Sans?
I think it depends. Depends on the day and the use.
Right? They're both really bad.
Can you,
So-
how about making like a chart or like a pie graph or something?
Oh yeah. That's what the smart art is. So let me show you that. So if I want to create a smart art, or a chart, they're both. So if I want to insert a chart, so if I want to make a pie graph, you can make it 3D. You can make it so that two of them go together, or like that, or one of these, which look really cool. Yes, I like these a
Got my
lot.
attention.
It's like the infographic.
And area, so that's pretty awesome. See, you don't even need Excel to do this, right? That's the coolest thing. You think this is what Excel is for, but Excel is only if you have really weird data that you want to do. You can create these charts in any Microsoft Office product you want. This is my personal favorite kind of chart. Well, seriously though, because you can show 3 variables in a relationship at once. So it's great for any kind of if you want to show 3 things at once, you can do it in one chart that has 3D objects on it without you having to design those 3D objects yourself.
Nothing against Excel, but most people that use Excel are accountants.
I've never taken an accounting class, and I've used Excel in every job I've ever had, and I mean, Excel is used in a lot of ways by a lot of people. It's stereotyped for accountants and things like that, but it's used by a lot of different people for many different kinds of applications.
That's pretty cool too. So that donut one that you had up before,
Oh yes.
I can imagine somebody designing an infographic like what you said with that, and if they had Font Awesome installed on their computer, they could quickly put it together. Like let's say your Adobe isn't working or something like that, or you're stuck with a computer that only has that. It's just using your creativity to kind of put together different elements to make something look really cool.
Yeah, definitely. When you have the creativity, you can combine these and smart art together and create some really, really cool stuff.
Well, I mean, you got time, so what? Show us something in Excel then.
Well, I don't really have that much time.
Yeah,
But-
something like 2 minutes. You're very.
But I mean, that's enough time.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see if I can do something simple here. Okay.
I've been
And
up since 6 o'clock this morning, so I got enough time.
Well, this does end at 9, so we just have to be conscious of the time.
look at this. It gives you a mini tiny Excel to work in.
That's adorable.
It gives you a tiny mini Excel. So you can add whatever you want in here. And I'll make the size, I don't know, 6 and colon.
It's all a matter, too, of how you use it. Like, I know I had a math professor who, I think, proposed to his girlfriend or, like, asked a girl to date him by using an equation to draw a heart with the calculator. It's just, like, it's all a matter of how you use the tools at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can use a pencil to draw something, to write something. You can use it as a dart. You can break it in half and use it as chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of what you're doing with the tools that you have and how can you use it to do what you want.
And you can edit the data in Excel from
That's
right
cool.
here if you want to. So this is, so yeah, you can make charts in here, and this is in PowerPoint, and of course, this would look better if it was on its own slide, but you can at least, you get the idea that it's
Why
bubbles.
doesn't it have its own slide?
Because I didn't put it on its own slide. Wonder if can I move it to any, if I
You
make a
probably
new slide.
cut it,
Control
paste
C,
it.
Control M,
Yes.
Control V.
Just copy paste it, yeah. Or cut it.
Yeah. There it is. Now it's on its own slide. So, yeah, you can see here that that now it's very clear to be able to see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you could see, the different variables, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's all that I have for that. I sure hope that you learned something that you didn't know about Microsoft Office products before tonight.
Oh, heck yeah. Super cool. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Any parting words of wisdom for YouTube?
Be careful what you use when you're using Microsoft Office because you can make it look really bad really fast, or you can make it look really good with just a few simple tricks.
Awesome. Wiser words have never been spoken. Bye, everybody.